I've been trying for so many years, and then suddenly this new creator comes up, and then like it's just like, oh, we got famous, and then I'm like, serious, trying to get numbers or whatnot. But what I've learned is like other people can be whoever they want to be. It's nothing got to do with you. Just because someone gets famous doesn't mean you get less famous. It really doesn't change anything anyways.
Hey friends, welcome to the Creator in Progress podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Lim. Each episode will bring you inspiring stories and practical advice from both successful and budding creators and entrepreneurs on how they got to where they are today. Shawne isn't just a traveler. He's a storyteller, a cinematographer, and an adventurer who has woven his passion for exploration into every frame he captures. But Shawne's journey isn't just about the places he's been to. Through his lens, he shares not only the beauty of the destinations he visits, but also the profound lessons he learns along the way.
Focus on doing things that align to you and focus on creating the best videos, best whatever. Anything else, followers, money, likes, that's a byproduct.
We speak in depth about his creative process, how he navigated through the travel restrictions of COVID-19, and how he sustains himself as a creator and now entrepreneur.
The one phrase that I always try to hammer into my head is like, with every crisis, there's always an opportunity.
I learned a ton as usual, and it's a great episode for anyone looking to become a travel content creator. Enjoy the conversations. This episode is co-produced by Scape. This is a question I ask all my guests, to really learn about who you are today. I really want to know more about your past experiences, like who you are, what kind of pivotal moments have shaped you into the person you are today. So tell me a bit more about Shawne.
Hi everyone, I'm Shawne. So I do travel content on YouTube. I do YouTube vlogs, travel videos, travel films, mostly. And then I also am a freelance videographer and also a free spirit. Yes.
I like that. It's like a Shawne. Is it like a horse or something? Like a Disney show on like the horse being a free spirit or something?
Oh, I don't know about that. But yeah, I usually just tell people I create videos on YouTube. I like pride myself, like I'm a YouTube creator. Even though a lot of times like I feel like, I'm not famous enough, to call myself a YouTuber, but just like own it lah. Just have to own it.
Embody
it.
Yeah.
YouTube creator sounds a bit more legit than like a YouTuber.
What in your past do you feel like, growing up and stuff, what do you think are some influences that you've had or some things that have, I don't know, crossed your path or happened to you that you decided, okay, I want to pursue filmmaking?
So my history is that I started YouTube like 11, 12 years ago. I did not have any camera background. My friends would laugh at me when I take photos, when I go on vacation. I'll just copy the exact framing that they do for their photos and they'll laugh at me. So I have no background in camera and whatnot. I started as I wanted to do like covers. Back then, 10 years ago, the YouTube music cover scene was super bright, vibrant. Everyone's like trying to, post their covers, and I was just very into music back then. Wanted to be a singer, wanted to be a rock star, very influenced by, Linkin Park, my favorite band, rest in peace, Chester, but and also very influenced by J Cho and all the Mandopop artists. So back then I wanted to be like in a band or be a singer, and I just did YouTube for with music and whatnot, and it's only, I would say, further down the line when the Wong Fu Productions came in, and then my friends joked me to do like skits. And back then there wasn't any Singapore YouTube scene. It was mostly the American side, and we were just very inspired by the Wong Fu stuff. So we wanted to produce skits. I had no background or whatever, but I like just try lah, And so from there on, then I started to pick up like photography and filmmaking. Bought my first DSLR, and when it comes to the travel side, I was very inspired by this creator called Devin Supertramp. Back then he was creating a lot of cinematic travel videos using the glide cam, the steady cam, and doing very beautiful, smooth looking footage with his camera. And I was very inspired by that. And that was like kind of like the point where I knew I wanted to travel the world and document the beauty of the world. I wasn't very well traveled back then as a kid. I mean, we go on occasional vacations, but not very well traveled. So that was also another pushing point. Like I wanted to see more of the world and document it with, Devin Supertramp, like the influencers and whatnot.
Okay, so that was basically the turning point. Like, oh, I really look up to this YouTuber and I kind of want to do what he's doing, traveling the world.
And just documenting and creating beautiful cinematic sequences. I wasn't a vlogger. I'm not comfortable in front of the camera. If you watch my older videos, which I pray you don't, I'm a filmmaker, camera person first before I started to do vlogging.
But I like it because I was watching some of your videos just now. It's very authentic. It's very you know?
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes there's like the awkward, like, I get those moments also. And I'm like, when I'm out and about, I'm trying to vlog. Sometimes my brain goes blank. I'm like, but okay, I'll just try to say something. But I feel it's like those moments which your audience then connects with you, right? As a real person.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to me. I'm not a camera person, so some people are very natural in front of camera. They can just whack and blah, 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 and, it's very engaging. And for me, that's not my default. So I'll have my pauses and like, oh my God, blank. Like, what do I say? What I want to say? I don't know what I want to say. And then like, I'll just like, okay, let's think. And then maybe sometimes I also rehearse in my mind, like what I want to say. Or if I have the time or what, then I'll just rehearse back home to just connect the dots in my head, because I'm not natural again, so I need to practice or verbalize for me to connect what I want to say. And I'm a bit particular about how I want to express myself. So that's why sometimes, again, it's not very natural. Some people don't need to even rehearse, but for me, sometimes I need to go through what I want to say. Yeah, and of course, when it comes to social media, you want to cut off the sometimes it's good to have it to not to make it so perfect, and sometimes you have to cut out lah. Like I'm very particular if I'm like but then then it's just very cut and then get on with what you're trying to say.
I feel like there's a mix, because like if you look at the Mr. Beast of all those guest theory, those sort of content, it's very fast paced. It's very like and there's no room to breathe in that certain sense. But I feel like there's a beauty in slowing things down.
Absolutely, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it works when you're just like bam, 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 right? Audience retention and whatnot. For me, I like to see it as flow. Like there are points where you need to bam, 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 and then there are times that I just want to stop and just stop the music, everything, and just like let things play out on its own. Drag out some scenes that are worth dragging out. I'll just like leave space for that, and then after that, next thing, bam, 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 bam. So it kind of gives a flow, so that you are not bombarded with things. You give. I mean, for me, what I think is the audience will have some space to just cool down a bit before I like go on a rampage.
I think the rhythm is quite good. So I recently purchased this course by this guy called Hayden Smith, I think. I'm butchering his name. Oh no! And I just bought his course.
I don't know.
He edits for Mr. Beast. He edits for this YouTuber called Logan Paul. So I just bought his course because I quite like editing. And he was talking about rhythm and story and emotion on like this triangle, and how it like all these three have to complement each other for a compelling story to be told. Like, I'm quite interested to learn how to storytell. I think you do it incredibly well.
Oh, thanks. Always learning.
It's really good. Like just now I was watching the Min video, right? I felt so inspired after that. It's really, really good. And I also feel like that travel bug, like, I want to travel.
That's my goal.
Can you share with me some insights into your creative process? Like, how do you ensure your videos leave a very lasting impact on your audience?
I think first of all, it comes down to the topic. There has to be a direction. Like I can't just be saying like, oh, this is a Japan vlog. And then just, okay, I'll show you every day what I do. Sometimes it works for people. Like if you are, if you have the looks or you have a killer personality, then people just watch anyways. But for me, I don't really have those. So I need to make use of other qualities that I have lah. So I would say, like, first of all, I need to know what's the direction of the video. I need to plan out, like, say, the title, thumbnail beforehand so that the audience get a sense of what this video is going to be like. I think that's very important. And of course, as you should, I'm always thinking about the edit. Like, is this going to make sense? Is this going to add value to the story? Sometimes a bit too much. Like, sometimes I should just let go and not think too much because there's a lot going on when I travel and shoot. I'm always thinking about the edit.
Yeah.
I don't want to overshoot, but I want to make sure I get the shots that I need to tell the story. I'm always thinking like, if something's going wrong, then, something's going wrong is good for the story, so let it flow. So sometimes I overthink a bit when I'm shooting overseas or creating videos. But again, it really helps when you have a direction in your videos, so that hopefully, I don't know, I can't predict how much impact the video will have. All I know is that there has to be a good angle to the videos that will make me like, feels good, like this is a good story. Then whatever impact that it gives to the audience is up to them. But I have to feel it first.
Yes, I think that's important. Like, you have to be happy with your work, right? I really want to try to learn how to do like more travel vlogging and all that also. But I have so many different questions. I've tried to do it before, but like whatever you mentioned just now, I've encountered it also. Like, I overshoot, or I look in the camera, I don't know what to say. I'm like, I'm shooting this, but like, will people find it boring? From what you shared, I gather you are a planner lah. You plan ahead in terms of like, what shots do I really need? Is it like, okay, I need to get a wide shot and I need to get a shot of me on a boat, and then those kind of things make me very overwhelmed because how do you know exactly what to shoot?
Yeah,
a bit wrong, I guess.
Yes, it can get very overwhelming. So how I plan is, I do YouTube. Like, I just watch YouTube vlogs on the location, see how people captured it. And I always think to myself, like, if it's a good shot, then I'll just like, okay, I also want to say, for example, Nimbin, the boat scene. I saw someone flying the drone. I actually didn't intend to fly the drone, but I saw like, oh, you can fly a drone from there. So, okay, I'm going to fly a drone.
Okay.
Right. So that was pretty stressful for me. Like, where do I start flying the drone? During the whole entire boat ride, I was thinking, where do I start flying a drone? Where is a good time? Like, where is this a spot? Like, then like, yeah, I do overthink a lot. And of course, I want to have my wide shots. I want to interact with the boat rower. I want to have close-up shots of the feet.
Yeah.
So all these things like come to my mind when I think about it. I always want to have close-ups and also wide shots on one of my 360 camera. So most of it I plan already beforehand, and it comes from just watching other people's videos. That will help me give at least a sense of how the location would look like, if not at least what have others captured, and then maybe you can use some of their shots, and then maybe think of other shots that could add to it as well. So that's how I do it.
Yeah, because during that Nimbin boat ride, there were 3 like rocky areas, right? In those areas you go underneath the
cave. Yes.
And then like, if you were flying your drone, I think you'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah. No way I'm going to fly my drone at that point. So it was the route of it is like a U-turn, right?
Yes.
So you go one round. So I told myself like, okay, let's reach the midpoint, go back, then I fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
at least
sense.
I know what to expect from the entire boat ride. So I know where to fly.
And you took the drone, like the drone took off from the boat.
From the boat,
Oh
yes.
my goodness.
Yes.
I
So
would
it
have
was
been
like,
so stressed to land the drone.
I was very stressed out, but the boat lady was very nice. She actually stopped the boat and then let me land.
I see.
So because if you are moving, it's very hard to land when something is moving.
Yeah.
So she was very nice. She just like let me land. I was like, okay lah, I'll give you a big tip lah.
Yeah.
Good tip lah, not say big lah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So it is overwhelming when you're thinking about filming and you're real time it's happening, that sort of thing. Because I try to plan and sometimes it's still like too many things.
It is really pretty overwhelming when like the situation is very fluid. You don't know what to expect, and you have to be able to change your plans on the spot depending on the situation. If you cannot fly the drone, you cannot fly the drone. If I don't know, for whatever reason the situation or the conditions are not right, then you have to be prepared to just change instantly.
I feel like, yeah, maybe one day if you are willing, please bring me on a trip so I can learn
Sure.
also.
I need a sponsor, a trip sponsor.
You were organizing a community travel thing, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, in the midst. Of course, like there's a bit of planning hiccup. Like again, I'm very particular about the experience and the type of trips that I want to bring people to. So for context, like I am planning to do like a community trip to. Because I'm an introvert, I prefer solo traveling. So doing a community trip, it's a very counterintuitive thing. Like I'm not a fan of group travel. It just makes me like, oh, everyone's like crammed together in the bus, and then it's very inflexible. There's always you have to meet timing. So I don't like the idea of group travel, but the idea of having like a community trip, because this year I really wanted to be able to connect with people. That's one of my main things when it comes to this year. The goal is just for everyone to have a good time and just connect either through the experience of travel itself or through like-minded people traveling together. And so far, it sounds good to me. Of course, I don't know yet what's going to happen and whatnot, but I just want to try, go out of my comfort zone, see how is it like. And as of now, right now, I'm still planning, like nothing concrete at the moment, because I had some choices. With a company, they were offering only like city tours, which for me is like I want to go on an adventure with people. I don't want to go to Osaka and like do food tours. That one you can own self do lah. Don't need to travel in a group. Yeah, you are spending more money anyways on a group travel. You can just do it on your own. So I'm a huge believer that if you want to do like group trips, it has to be somewhere that's not easily accessible, where it makes more sense to get someone to organize it for you.
I don't know if it's true for you, but for me, when I travel, I'm trying to, vlog more and all that, right? So sometimes I feel very bad if I'm trying to catch a shot and my friends are waiting. Wow, it's so stressful, Then I get the shot, but then when I look at it in the bus, I'm like, I didn't get the shot. No.
I feel you.
Like, exposure is too much,
Yeah.
So sometimes maybe I should do like solo travel, or like I should travel with someone who knows, like, who is also doing like filming.
Yeah.
So I can learn and at the same time, not feel so pressured in that sense.
Yes. That's why I haven't traveled like leisurely with a group of even 3 or 4. My leisure trip mostly is with my wife, whom she knows that I'm capturing content and she's okay to wait, which is awesome lah. Like I mean, at the beginning when I was just starting out, she got pissed. I remember particularly one trip in Maldives. I was just taking the same shot over and over again, and she wanted me to join her in the pool during the sunset. But I was like, I want to get this shot, man, on the gimbal. I want it to be smooth. Cannot get it. Then I keep taking, trying to be like perfectionist. And I mean, at the start, you need a lot of practice. So you want to get it right. And yeah, she got really like pissed off. Like, can you just stop taking and join me in the pool? I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, like our partners and whatnot have to tahan and wait. And so I would say, especially when you're creating content, it's important for whoever is going to know that, okay, you really want to capture stuff and know that it's not just like, I play any just casually vlog, but you really want to capture a good one. You need time to take photos, videos, whatever. It's very important to let everyone know that beforehand. And also it's okay to just plans wise, maybe we can separate. I think it's totally cool to just, you want to do this, I want to do this, why don't we meet at this time? And certain things we can just do at our own pace.
True.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah, I think I put my own pressure on myself sometimes. Like, I want to, sometimes I feel like I should just go on a trip so I can capture content. Then it's all about that, But most of the time I'm just like, okay, go together with my partner, chill, right? Because why not? So, finding that balance.
Yes, but I would say there's no good and bad or bad. Sometimes if you feel like I want to make a kick-ass travel vlog or travel story, do what you need to do. And yes, the partners, people traveling complain, but after that, they just move on their lives, right? So, I mean, okay, it's always a fine balance. You cannot just keep doing and then like, you also have to be efficient and proficient and make sure you don't take too long to capture that one shot. But also know that, creating something that's permanent is sometimes more important.
Yes.
Because that is like forever compared to like a bit of waiting. Like, don't need to feel bad about it. If you know that, okay, I want to create this video and nothing is going to try and stop me. Like, don't let external pressure and try to sway you off that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I go to like for snowboarding, right, there are days where I just refuse to take out my camera. I just want to have fun, and there are some days where I'm like, I need to capture this shot because it's like a bluebird day and like there's no snow, anything, visibility is great, and like you do just look like very nice in the snow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I managed to capture some of that with my 360, my Insta 360. And just now I was watching your Nimbin video, I was like, oh, I think your 360 scraped the ground, right?
Yes.
What a miracle the lens didn't get
What
scratched.
a miracle. I wasn't even in content mode. I was just shocked. Like, I didn't even say like, "Whoa," like, I was just shocked and like, this is a goner. And by some miracle, the camera survived without a scratch because it was scraping against the corner instead of the lens. Yeah, so that miracle.
Wow, very lucky.
Yeah.
I didn't protect my lens has a little bit of a scratch, one side of it. I'm like, oh no.
I try to be as careful as I can with my cameras, my gears. But things can still happen, and like, it's very painful, but yeah, I was just like, it happens.
Yeah. So speaking about gear, right? I'm very curious to know how much gear do you carry when you travel?
How much gear? I have a backpack and a sling bag. So sling bag, I'll put my main camera, I'll put my phone, whatever that I need to have quick access, I'll put it in a sling bag. It's a bit heavy lah, like a bit unnecessary. I use it as also like a platform to put my camera. So I don't need like a Joby tripod or whatnot. Yeah, so that's one. And camera backpack wise, I have a drone, I have a gimbal, I have I totally have 3 lenses, one ultra wide angle, which gets like maybe 70% of the shots or 80% of the shots. I have a 50mm, which is like a aesthetic lens to capture beautiful blurry background kind of shots. And then I have a telephoto lens that captures far away shots. So these are my main cameras. And then of course I have the action cameras, the GoPro and the 360 camera. And a tripod. Yes, tripod.
So you bring your whole everything lah.
Pretty much everything. Yeah.
Goodness, that's my dilemma sometimes. I'm like, how do I travel light yet, be able to... I kind of want to just travel light and capture with what I have. But sometimes I'm like, I wish I had this lens of, I could capture something a bit further and whatnot. Yeah, so I always have that struggle.
I feel you. I mean, I could bring more, but I make sure that every piece of equipment that I bring, there's some intention that I know that, okay, I'm going to use this. Yeah, so everything that I bring out, there's a purpose to it. I'm not bringing it for the sake of bringing it to maximize whatever shots. Like, I know that every piece of equipment that I bring helps me tell the story in a certain way. So I try to think of that. Yeah.
I think I'm missing a telephoto lens. I have I think 18 to 105. That is the longest range one I have already. So I'm thinking of investing into like a 70 to 300 Tamron.
That would be good.
Lens.
Yeah, if you like to capture wildlife or even landscapes, right? And the mountains are very far away, then a telephoto lens helps with bringing the mountains closer to you.
Yeah. So but I'm like, do I need another lens now? I'm like, and I mean, now I know lenses are investment, right? Last time I'm just like, oh my God, so expensive. Yeah. And again, it's the weight of me carrying so many things.
It can definitely wear you down. So I would say, as in, I don't bring my full kit every time. It depends on the day what I'm doing. So if I know that, okay, I'm going to capture a bit of wildlife, I know I can roughly expect there's going to be wildlife, then I'll bring my telephoto lens. If I know that I'm doing a more action-packed day, I won't even bring my main camera. I'll just bring GoPro, 360 camera. And like say, for example, if I'm going cycling, I don't need my aesthetic lens. I can just bring maybe the telephoto max. Or don't even need that. I just need to capture like white stuff. So I don't bring that. I don't bring gimbal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't use gimbals anymore? Or
I do. As in just that particular day, I'll
Okay.
leave my gimbal at the hotel.
Okay. I cannot operate a gimbal. The first day I was like trying to balance it. I was like, this is so hard. I cannot. So I've not touched my gimbal since then. Yeah, it's so painful to learn it. Just to learn how to balance the camera on it. That was so painful for me already. And then I brought it to Australia before, and I was trying to set it up, and I was just really bad at it. And I give up after that.
You just need to learn how to set the gimbal up. And then once you get the balance, you roughly know, actually don't need to think too much. Yeah. Just the setup, yes, I get you. Like it's very, how do I get this thing balanced?
Yes.
That's the painful part.
Yeah. I guess, and even like the shots, like do I pan left? Do I pan right? Do I go with like a point of view shot? You know, these are things it doesn't come intuitively to me. So I just get super lost. So a lot of my shots now are just stills. Like I just leave the camera there and I am the movement basically. So I feel I'm just still kind of like at that stage.
No, it's okay. Like do what works for you. Not everyone needs to have a gimbal to make good videos. Some of the best videos or creators that I follow and get inspired by, they don't have gimbal. Their camera is like super low quality. But the way they know how to edit, to tell a story, to connect to someone, makes me even more inspired when someone's able to tell a good story without all the equipment, no drones, no gimbal, just being able to connect and tell a good story. Like for me, I follow a lot of these creators now that don't require heavy equipment.
It's the art of storytelling.
Yes, that's still the most important. Like I can give you the red camera, I can give you cinema camera, you can have the best lenses, all the lenses in your arsenal. But it's really about the editing and how you frame the story and what narrative are you trying to tell and how relatable is that. I think that's the most important thing. So really gear on a certain level does not matter that much, especially when it comes to creating YouTube videos. Yes, it's nice to have nice quality, high production quality, which is something I cannot let go of once you like kind of have a taste of it. Yeah. So, but my focus now is really a story first, audience first, before anything else. Yeah.
I'm trying to do that as well. Like you, I think I also am a little bit anal about quality. And when I'm also a planner. So because my content now is a lot more self-development and all that, right? So I actually have a day where I just sit and I just shoot B-roll. Like I can take I don't know how many hours just to shoot B-roll at home, you know?
Likewise.
Which when I look at the final product after editing, I'm very happy with it.
That's good. That's all you need to be, right? Like you need to be happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wow, it's so much effort.
It's a lot of effort.
Yeah, and sometimes like at a certain point I can feel like, wow, I'm really tired. Like I worry if I do too much more, like I get burnt out, you know? But I love it lah. I love it, and like I watch your video again now. I'm like, oh, I'm raring to go again. You know, that sort of thing.
I mean, that's the feeling you want to go after, right? Like it's like knowing that you can do more, but you decide not to do, and you upload the video, you feel shitty about it. So might as well just give it your all.
Correct.
Like even if you do like 20% more, 15%, 50% more, it's still going to be worth it. Like at least you finish the project knowing that you gave it your all, rather than I could have done better.
Yeah.
Then that sucks even more.
Correct.
So always give your all lah.
Yeah. How do you? I'm very curious. I mean, you take all your footage and all that, right? How do you organize your footage before you edit? Because I can imagine it's like in different cameras, and then you have to piece it together, that sort of thing. Like, can you maybe share with me a little bit about it?
Right. So when I travel almost every day, if I have the energy left at the end of the day, I will upload them to my hard drive, my SSD, and then I will label them according to day one. Okay, what is this happening? Like say I go to boat ride, for example, then I will organize them according to camera. So the day and then camera. Or rather the cameras, then I read day one, day two, day three, whatever. And then, of course, in the edit, it's still very painful. I need to go through everything, and then the process starts lah. Like, trying to. I mean, usually the start is the toughest. For me, the start of the project is like always starting off with a blank canvas. No matter how experienced you are, there's always a blank canvas that you need to start off from, and it's always the most headache part for me. Like the music is always the toughest for me. Trying to get the right feel to convey how I want to share the story, and then how to make the intro as flashy because in YouTube, social media, the first 10 seconds, 15 seconds is the most important. It's one that will make people want to continue to watch or just drop off. So your intro has to be impactful. It has to give the audience an idea of what to expect for this video, and to give a flavor of, give them an idea of what kind of creator you are, especially if they are strangers and they don't know you at all. So the start is always the toughest. Yeah.
That's good. 20 minutes of your vlog I sat through it.
Perfect. That's what I want everyone to do.
Yeah,
sit through it. It's very hard to imagine people to sit through like the entire 20 minutes. So I always get very like mangzang or like I just feel very
anxious
when I see my videos. Oh my gosh, I'm like beyond 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, they're like, it's a bit too long. So I get very anxious when it gets a bit too long. Am I like too, draggy? Will people just drop off? But at the same time, when I watch back, and it's just based on intuition, like it has to be told like that. I cannot just anyhow skip certain parts. So it's really according to how I feel about it. Yeah.
I think it's a very different style because like for me, when I do my YouTube videos, right, I do the A-roll cut first because it's basically a talking head lah. And then I cut that first. Then after that, I supplement with B-roll. But again, that's difficult to do for travel vlogs.
Travel vlogs is a bit different because I'm not trying to present pointers. I'm not, doing like a sit down, share the camera, a camera. It's always very dynamic. It's always things happening from this place to that place. And then so it's a little bit tougher, like, and then you need to think about pacing and all. So it's just different style.
But I really like it. I really admire that. And that's why I kind of want to like learn because it's so interesting. And again, I come out of every video feeling very like inspired.
Oh, that's nice.
And I would love to be able to storytell and impact people in that way also. I think storytelling is like a very important skill actually. And in this world now, in this era, capturing people's attention. But if you can tell a story and share or spread a good message through that story, like that's good, right?
I mean, we always say about telling a story, but like, what is telling a story, right? Like, how do we even tell a good story and whatnot? So it's like a very, how to say, it's like an art form that you just need to play around with. There's so many ways of telling a good story, how you want to hook the audience into the main meat of I mean, there's just so many examples. Probably I can't go through everything. But
how did you learn storytelling from? Were you self-taught or?
Self-taught lah, basically most of it. But the only way to really hone this craft is by practice. Yes, I get very inspired by a lot of creators. I try to put some essence of creators that I find that, wow, the video is so good. Let me incorporate some elements to it and try. And then finding a good subject also is very important, right? Like if the subject is boring, no matter what you try to do, it's going to be very tough. You're going to be fighting against it. So I guess it's really all about practice until you know how to feel something. Like I think it's really the thing about this is you really have to know how to feel for something as a creator. Certain things, like I cannot just tell you A, B, C. You just follow this 3-act structure, which is the setup, giving context, introduction, and then after that the middle, and then the end, the resolution. Right? There's a setup, conflict, and then resolution. Right? So this is like the standard 3-act structure, and especially I'm very inspired by Casey Neistat. He's a master, like a shifu in storytelling. Very effective, straight to the point, no BS. And then he pulls you in just like that. There's always a good conflict. And the way he just shares his story, and there's a mix of personality as well that helps. And I always look up to Casey Neistat as one of the best storytellers out there. But it's all about practice and discovering your own flavor, your own unique sauce to what you're trying to portray to your videos.
I need more practice for sure.
It's just practice really, and just really having fun. Don't think too much about it, but also like learning. Just treat it as everything is just, all the videos are just like just practicing, having fun with it, enjoying the process.
Yeah, for that I need to travel more. Okay. I feel like your content has like a bit of that self-development aspect also, which it is interesting to me because I think the niche I'm trying to go for is quite self-developmental also. And I want to incorporate a bit of like travel into it because I feel like that gives people more like awe-inspiring and what they kind of feels like basically. So how do you feel like, you incorporate your personal growth and positivity, I guess? Okay, after I watch your videos, I feel very positive and,
that's nice.
and very inspired, right? How do you feel like you, I don't know, like put your own flavor into it? Is it, like you said, just through practice, through feels? Do you not say copy other creators? Because like sometimes I feel like I do that too when like I really like this creator. I watch his videos, I analyze it, I break it down. And then some of the shots that of course not exactly the same, but very similar.
It's totally fine though. There's nothing wrong with it. So if you're talking about self-development, I think, as in, I'm not really going to self-development. I think it's more of trying to incorporate the human experience into what I do. So when it comes to travel content, it's very easy to just, oh my gosh, I'm in this place. Like, oh my God, so amazing. Like, oh my God, so good. So beautiful. I'm having the best time of my life. But I try to also incorporate the human experience, both the negatives and the positive sides. And just to make it more human, like I'm not like a pretty travel influencers. Like I'm looking good, having my coffee in Bali, like I'm just not that type. So I feel that I want to not say maybe inspire, but to just be able to help people relate to me better and relate to the issues that I face or my experience as, growing up. Like I don't travel much. I always had to go budget. I still stay in hostels. Even until now, like if I can, I would stay in hostels just to save money. So just little things like this helps to at least make people feel like, yeah, he's like us, and then that's what I try to want to portray and try to connect with people, is that I'm just like everyone else. I don't go for the luxurious lifestyle, and I also want to talk about my experience as I grow into my 20s, 30s, what have I learned, and hopefully like these experiences that I have, not only just the travel part, but the kind of experiences that I have as a human, as a person growing up in Singapore, my perspectives growing up here, like hopefully that helps to open up the conversation and also just let people like think more about life and how they want, because the message that I'm trying to always go for is I always want to encourage people to lead the most fulfilled life they would ever have, go for what they want. But I also know that sometimes, yes, you have to be practical. Not everyone's meant to escape the 9 to 5. Not everyone's meant to whatever. But I just want to portray that, yeah, you should try to go do things that align to yourself and whatnot. So that kind of ties in a little bit to personal development. But at the end of the day, I just want to be able to have that human experience, be part of my videos, and to just inspire people through other means other than to show beautiful locations, which I still enjoy. I love to document and like capture locations as amazingly as possible. But at the same time, I also want to spur the other side of things where, yeah, I want to inspire people just go out there and live to their fullest.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's the premise of this podcast, and like it's also kind of like a direction in my own channel. Like I want to optimize, like encourage people to kind of like go for their dreams, optimize for a life of fun, freedom, and happiness. Which I think it's important to be happy in this one life. As cliche as it sounds, we really only have one life to enjoy and experience all these different things, right?
But it's very complex because like everyone wants to be happy, but how? Right? And we can go into a deep hole, black hole into this. I have a video about it, finding happiness in Finland that gives a good glimpse of what is it like to be happy, or rather I would say the word is contentment. It's very hard for us living in Singapore where everyone is like trying to chase their dreams or just hustling, or because of social media you see everyone like thriving, it feels like it, and then it can be very, you tend to compare yourself to other people. Or other people are earning more money, they got better jobs, they have a very nice family, they have a bigger house, and it can be tough. Like, I can't chase my dreams, I need to earn money. But at the end of the day, it's about just trying to find what lights you up inside. And we grew up with a lot of conditioning, like, we only like with money or with a big house, then I can be happy. But that is just like a cloud. Sometimes we really need to dig deeper into finding what really lights us up.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I just think in Singapore it's tough. Like my partner and I were like, we always have this thought we should just move to Bali, lower cost of living, we can enjoy life. I mean, still do work that is meaningful to us, but at least it's not as hustle culture as Singapore, I would say. Singapore's very fast, like boom, 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 and you can't slow down. And like even for me, like for social media, even though my bread and butter supposedly is on social media, I actively like try not to scroll through Instagram or TikTok, because like I've given up using TikTok. I just use it just to post and stuff.
Okay.
Because I feel that sense of that comparison, you were talking about, and it gets me very down, because I'm like, sometimes I look at other creators, I'm like, how did they get to this when so fast, and like I have been trying so hard for like so many years and I'm still not there. So the comparison trap gets me very down. So I just self-police myself lah. I'm like, don't see.
I totally feel you. But I would say maybe this is just, how to say, like this is just running away. So you're just shutting it off, but you're not dealing with it. So this has become like self-development. But I would, just based on what I've learned is that this is more of shutting off rather than dealing with your own insecurity. So you have to really be okay that, this person, he took maybe say 3 months to get so famous, but I like doing this for 10 years and I'm not even like half or even a quarter of this person. And you have to be okay with it, because that person is that person. You are you. You are doing your own thing. And you really have to find that peace knowing that, okay, all these people are thriving. They're getting a lot of followers, which I get very hurt also. Like, I've been trying for so many years, and then suddenly this new creator comes up, and then like it's just like, you got famous, and then I'm like, serious, trying to get numbers or whatnot. But it's, what I've learned is like other people can be whoever the F they want to be. That is their way, that's their trajectory. It has nothing got to do with you, whether or not they thrive. So, for example, if they get famous in 3 months, or this person doesn't even exist, it doesn't even affect you, technically speaking. Like, you don't, just because someone gets famous doesn't mean you get less famous.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it really doesn't change anything anyway. So this is how I try to frame my mind, instead of just like, I don't want to see social media because I don't want to compare myself. And while it's good to not be so caught up with social media all the time, because it can get to you still. But I would say try to be okay with everyone thriving except yourself. Like that's so hard. Even I myself find it. I'm trying to be at peace with it because I'm still just trying to be there where like be 100% okay with everyone thriving myself except myself. I think it's such a challenge, but I feel that it's not really shared a lot.
Yeah.
Because in social media, it seems like everyone's like doing nice shit. Everyone's like, oh my God, getting this job. Everyone's like thriving except me. I'm like just like floating around in there, you know. So it's very easy to just feel that way, but you just have to know that every day you're just doing something towards your dreams, and that you're doing something that aligns to you. That's enough. That's okay.
Yeah, like the abundance mindset versus the comparison mindset, like what you said about everyone thriving. I think I know like deep down it's about my own journey and my own growth. Like I'm getting 1% better from all my own videos, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's the impatience that I'm just like, you know. So I guess that's why I think if I shut off and I focus on my own thing, that's how it makes me feel better. But yeah, there are days where I'm just like itchy hand and go and see that, oh my God, this person grew again. You know, like then, so I'm just like, I've just decided for now, I just want to focus on my own journey. That's why I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean, these are temporary mechanisms for us to at least like, okay, you know what, just let us focus on stuff. But at the end of the day, we need to be able to deal with it head on and just like stare at it. Like, okay, this person get 10,000 followers today. I'm gonna like, good for you, like just stare it slow-mo. That's what I've learned. Like to expand your container a bit, like it's okay. This person can grow that much. This person can have that amount of likes, comments. You just stare it and like, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Try it.
I think I should stare it in.
Yeah. Breathe. Yeah. Just like expand your containment for all of these feelings. Like you just need to be able to feel it and let it pass through. And then from there on, then you will just be a bit more numb, not in a bad way, but like you'll just really genuinely feel like I'm okay with it.
I shall try that. Yeah, I'll just always just try to work on myself.
As I'm also trying to work on myself because I'm also trying. Yeah. It gets to me also.
Well, humans after all, right?
In a very, a very busy city, everyone's trying to make it. Everyone's making it.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, hopping on to the next question, right? Because you do travel and stuff, and I feel like, of course, with COVID, the travel industry has faced a lot of like challenges and changes with like limitations on travel and visas and all that, right? How do you feel like you have adapted your content or your strategies to kind of like stay relevant during this time? I guess during COVID, how did you cope?
Oh, COVID. Our favorite period of our lifetimes, COVID-19. How did I navigate? So, of course, at the start, was like, okay, maybe, 6 months don't travel. Okay lah, I can tahan lah. I just do like some other stuff, finish my, backlog. Because I had quite a bit of backlog when the lockdown happened. So, okay lah, like at the end of the year, okay lah, then we can travel again. But drag on to I don't know how many 2-3 years until like end of 2021, then travel slowly opened up. But so how do I navigate that is, first of all, I had to pivot to local content lah, of course. And as a travel creator, it's like, oh my God, how? Like totally stop, right? So the one phrase that I always try to hammer into my head is like, with every crisis, there's always an opportunity. Every time I just keep telling myself, every crisis, there's always an opportunity. But I think to myself, like, what opportunity is there? Like, I like trying to figure out, like, oh my God, what can I do? What can I do? And I got pretty stressed out about it. Like, keep thinking about, like, what should I do? Like, somehow it's like lockdown. You can't even go out. What should I do? Like, okay, home content or like, so I did shoot some home content of just like being at home, the mundane stuff, going for a jog, I mean, during the lockdown, we can still jog. So it's like, okay, I feel myself jogging, just the very mundane stuff. And then slowly we get a bit of reopening. We can head out a bit in groups of 2 or 5. That's where I started to, okay, you know what? Like, okay, let's try to find and do interesting things in Singapore. Let's think and crunch my brain. So I really try to squeeze my brain a lot. And it was very, very tough, but I started to do like, explore new places in Singapore, like abandoned places. Some of it was really very interesting. Like I explored so much of Singapore that I never knew about throughout living here in Singapore until I did this. Until COVID-19, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many abandoned places. Some of it like not supposed to go on, but well, I know when, because my friend Joe, not me, but my friend, like, he always on the lookout for all these abandoned places. And like he just showed me, go lah. And then for me, it's like, okay lah, content. So it was very interesting to see all of these like abandoned World War II places. It's like in a bunker, it's filled with mud. You need to go through the forest to find this hidden bunker. And it was very interesting. Like it felt like an adventure. It was very exciting. And also I did like certain things like doing the coast to coast trail. So there's this trail across Singapore from the west to the east, and there's one whole like trail across the parks, sort of like, but it's like not very interesting. Like it's like most of it is walking by the road, but it's a trail. Like it's a popular coast to coast trail, 36 km, I believe.
You walked 36 km.
Yeah, across Singapore. Wow. Then I'm like, let's up the challenge. Like I think a few days before the actual shooting of the actual thing, like let's do the trek in Crocs. Content. So I did it. And the video did quite well. I felt very satisfied by it. I didn't manage to finish it, unfortunately. Because I did a lot of filming. I went off path a couple of times just to be able to capture nicer places. So the whole entire production, for that is like started at 8 a.m. and then it ended like 1 a.m. and I still couldn't finish because I was having blisters already by then.
Yeah.
At night, it was supposed to end at Coney Island. I couldn't continue at Sengkang. I cannot really go on. So that was one interesting project that I did. I also did the rail corridor, the northern side, which is not very popular. I tracked with it using Berks. Trying to just be a bit more creative. And what else? I also did home renovation. So I decided to renovate my home. That was the best time to do renovation because I wasn't traveling. Like if you travel and all, like it's just very hard to renovate your home. So it was the perfect time for me to do a home renovation, and that got me quite a bit of eyeballs also because home content like renovation, home tours, all this do very well on YouTube.
That's why Stack Homes is doing so well.
Yes, for some reason, it's always doing well. Like I would say a 99.9% chance of it doing well. So that helped me to get quite a bit of eyeballs for it. I also learned, I didn't know about this until a friend showed me to pick up scuba diving in Singapore at Sea Aquarium.
Oh,
yeah. So I didn't know that you can actually have a legit PADI license by learning it at Sea Aquarium. And the best part of it is you get to learn it in the big tank, the one with the manta rays. It's like free flow marine life. You don't need to look for it. It's there swimming 24/7 around you. So that was an amazing one. So I got to do a lot of these interesting things that I never thought I would ever do due to the pandemic. And I guess in a way, it helped me to get more local eyeballs back then compared to say before that. I think it's not so, it's a mix lah, but right after the pandemic I felt that definitely I've gotten some local eyeballs, which is good. I think it's always good to establish myself like home ground. So that was really good. And in hindsight, and also one more thing is that I got to really expand my editing and storytelling skills. Because before the pandemic, I was doing travel vlogs. I was just like, yo, what's up? I'm in a cool place. It was just jumping from cool place one after another. But doing Singapore, to be honest, for travel as a local, it's not as interesting. It's not as exciting visually. So through doing local videos, I really got to know how to film the details, to pay attention to the details, and to tell a better story, because the visuals, of course, is not as crazy. You don't have mountains, you don't have blue waters to showcase. So you really have to hone it into how do you actually even tell a good story without all of those. And it really helped me to hone in on storytelling a lot better compared to pre-COVID. So that part I feel like definitely has upgraded me to be able to look into the details and to share more beyond just pretty visuals. And again, it always in hindsight, definitely COVID, it's a good turning point as well when you look at it in a positive light. For me, especially in my perspective, is that I've managed to get more local eyeballs and also to upgrade my video storytelling skills. And all in all, it's still a positive.
That's your opportunity right there.
Yeah, that's my opportunity. Like sometimes again, you don't need to squeeze and think so much. It's just need to just do, and then you will see that actually that was the opportunity.
Yes, there's always a silver lining.
There's always a silver lining. So COVID, I mean, thankfully for the creator economy, I think COVID is a lot more kinder for our industry because we are online. So it's easier for us to get by compared to say F&B. I think F&B is one of the toughest industry to be in, even without COVID. And with COVID, it just made it worse. So I'm thankful that I'm in the digital creator industry where more people actually, it then incentivizes people to want to create more online stuff, which helps us. So again, very thankful that our industry, my industry, is more well protected against COVID.
COVID. I'm glad. I'm so glad it's over.
I'm so glad it's over. Yeah.
I also felt like it was a good time to learn some things also, and like you said, for the creator economy. I think I feel like that brought a little bit of success to TikTok also.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's when everything boomed. Yeah. Oh well. Good to have gone through it, but hope
done
never
and dusted
again, please.
But of course, praying that it never happens already.
Yeah.
But you never know. You just have to always be ready for things to happen. There might be a war. Anything can happen, right? There could be another pandemic. And for me, it's like I always try to adopt this mindset that just go with the flow. And like what Bruce Lee said, be like water. Right? Be like water. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's very tough lah, because especially as planners,
Yes.
we always okay, it should be like that, it should be like that. And then when something changes our course, I get very caught up by it should be like that. But you have to remember, you have to be like water and just go with the flow sometimes. Not everything has to go according to plan. Yeah.
I think I need a tattoo, be like water somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's a good tattoo.
Isn't that why people get the waves?
yeah, maybe just be like water.
Yeah. Okay. I think a couple more questions. So, coming out from the 9 to 5, right? I think there are so many adjustments, and one of the adjustments for me is income. There's no longer that stable income, and I'm still getting used to that. So I'm quite curious for you, what are your streams of income, and how do you sustain yourself as a creator? And I know recently also you kind of ventured into the world of entrepreneurship. I know you have your own Etsy store now with the phone covers. So tell me more about all of that.
First of all, I applaud people who come from 9 to 5 and they have to give up their stable salary to do what you do, freelancing, entrepreneurship. It is not easy. So for me, I've never had a full-time job. I don't know what it's like to have MC, annual leave, regular paycheck. I don't know what it's like to have bonus. So for people to step out of that, I think is wow. It takes a lot lah. Whereas it's a lot kind of easier for me because I just jump straight into it. I'm used to not having a stable income. There'll be months where it's peanuts. Then you're like, how, it's definitely a lot of anxiety. There'll be months like that. There'll be dry seasons. You just have to notice the patterns. And I'm still dealing with it, right? Like it can get so inconsistent, especially after COVID. Like it definitely until now, even now, like it's still like it's like I don't have as many travel jobs compared to pre-COVID. So it definitely still throws me off guard and can be very worrying. But this is all part of the journey when it comes to pursuing your dreams. Don't expect a stable income.
Yep.
Just you have to tank through the drier months and know and believe in your work that whatever you're doing is providing value. So what are my income streams? So the thing about me is thankfully I have a skill set that I can leverage from. So a lot of people know me for creating YouTube videos, and I would say YouTube is of course where I put pretty much 100% of my energy as much as possible. But my focus is always trying to maintain the YouTube channel, to come up with interesting ideas, to go on trips. So that is always my full-time focus, but I don't earn much. I mean, YouTube AdSense, I don't have millions of views to give me money to just travel and just do YouTube videos and sustain from that. So a lot of people ask me about like how much YouTube pays you. Because I say, I tell people like, I make YouTube videos, but like how much do you earn? But actually, I really don't earn much because I consider myself as a middle-class YouTuber, right? I'm not like Tan or like Logan Paul, where they have tons of views to pay the bills, and usually that's enough. Although they make way more than just YouTube AdSense. So what I leverage on is my skill set as a videographer, my filmmaking skill set. So I also do video production for brands for their social media, campaigns, and whatnot. Whether is it like travel brands. I would do, the video production side of things where I'm not in front of the camera. So right now I do a mix of both. Sometimes brands want to engage me to produce content on my platform. It's not very often, but sometimes it does. And then sometimes I do videos for brands, which sometimes involves my face. Sometimes it's other people fronting it. So this is like my main source of income, which is freelance videography and also social media content involving either my face or not. That's the main thing. And then talking about Etsy, I wouldn't call it like entrepreneurship. It's more of like it's a side thing.
Yes.
It's a side gig where I just wanted to have fun. Also because of my dry season, lesser jobs and whatnot. So I decided let's just do something different. Like I've been creating videos for 10 over years and it becomes like a cycle, like you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Sometimes it's good to just try something different. It doesn't have to make you money. In fact, I'm still kind of like at a net loss from the business. All right, haven't break even yet from selling cases. So it's really something for me to experiment, to test out another creative side of me. And to really, for me, the Etsy phone cases, because it started out as a problem that I faced, which is I just got a new phone, and then I wanted to find a Japanese phone case, but I just couldn't find a good, interesting Japanese phone case for my phone. So that was the issue that I faced. Like I just cannot find something a new phone case for myself. So that was number one. And then number two, of course, is I wanted to rely less on brands.
Yes.
Waiting, sitting there like, any brands coming to, give me some jobs. I wanted to rely less on that. And that's the idea behind it, to try to be a bit more independent, have an extra source of income, to just set up base. It doesn't have to make money, but at least the idea is there. I just wanted to be a bit more independent from waiting for people to come to me. So those were the two main drivers of why I started it. And then thirdly, of course, is more of a branding thing for me, to just outreach to my audiences, to have a piece of me in their hands, other than just watching my videos. It's an extra value that I can provide if for whoever is watching my videos, and they find that, they resonate with the product, they find that it's good. And, it's a way for me to just reach out to my audience. And it's kind of like a branding thing to me also.
Okay.
So these are like my three main drivers when it comes to the setting up the Etsy shop. Of course, it's very new. I just launched it like a few months ago, like in June. So it's still very fresh, still the net loss, right? So I don't have any because most creators you see like they launch and then they sold out in like 2 days and whatnot. Like mine is like, I have a lot of stocks. You know what I mean? Like, cause the model that I wanted to approach it is a bit different. I wanted it to be available throughout. I wanted it to sell not only to my audience, but also to strangers who don't know about me or just people, like Etsy is a marketplace. So I know that I'm not famous enough to just sell to my audience. So I just wanted to reach out to the marketplace and see where it goes from there. So the strategy that I adopted is more of, I just have the stocks there and I'll just try to sell as much as I can lah. I don't want it to make it like a limited thing to create like very little supply and it's not really a novelty thing for now, at least. The way I see it is I just want to make it available and to just make it available to the market and see how it goes.
Okay, friends, let's support Shawne. Yeah, and later I'll drop the Etsy shop link into the show notes.
Sure.
So
that would be
people
appreciated.
can see.
Thank you so
you
much.
can show them. Maybe you can show them.
Here, right.
Grab your phone. Then maybe you can show them there. So for those on video, you can see how it kind of.
Yeah. So this is the Fuji-san phone case. That's I spend a lot of time making sure that it's something that I know is good. It's definitely very high quality. I'm low key selling it, plugging my merch, but most importantly, like really is to be able to create value and to share a product that is something that resonates with me, that I feel that could benefit others.
Okay, so I call this the depth quest because on every block, right, it corresponds to a number, and that number corresponds to a question that I have prepared for my guest.
Oh, wow.
So, and they're very deep questions.
I thought it's like a pun to my YouTube channel named Depp. Okay,
Yeah, why is it? I always thought it was because it's like you're like Johnny Depp scouring the sea.
That's a nice idea of it. But no, I was a fan of Johnny Depp like during the Pirates of the Caribbean thing back in poly lah. So I always try to, I was just a fan of it, and then my friends call me Shawne Depp. So then I just like created that name.
I like it. It's unique.
Is it really? I find it very childish.
No lah.
I was thinking like, should I change? Like it's like not professional, not
Change
like
to your
cool.
name, is it?
I don't know, just something a bit more cool. So Shawne Depp's like so childish, but at the same time, like people already remember it for me. So like I didn't touch it.
Yeah. I mean, up to you. You have to be happy with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For now I'm just like cool with it.
Okay. Pick a block.
Okay.
And we shall see what questions you come up with.
Oh.
Never drop. Very good.
43.
43. Okay. Well, I need to see whether. Okay, very good. 43. Can you describe a moment when you felt a profound sense of joy or contentment, and what led to that experience? Very deep.
Amazing question. Profound sense of contentment. I remember very vividly, like this instantly, like I can immediately think of it. That was during Finland, when I was solo traveling. So there was a group part and then there was a solo travel. Not to say that the group was but during the solo travel, I remember I was just walking in the forest, exploring a nearby national park, and it was just empty. Just no one. Can be scary for some people, like in the middle of nowhere, covered in snow, with like all the trees, just no one. That was like the profound like peace. And like I instantly felt at that moment, I felt like, man, I don't need anything else, man. Like I don't need anything else. I don't need money are important, but at that point, like I was like, I don't need followers. I don't need my views. I don't need like whatever, like everything. Like I'm like right here, right now at this moment, solid. Another point was when I was snowboarding also in Finland by myself, bliss. Like I don't need anything else. Like right here, right now at this moment, riding in the snow, yeah, solid.
I think that's the interesting thing about contentment and happiness. It's like in the small moments where you're just happy because you are happy doing what exactly you are kind of doing.
Yes.
Right.
But the thing is, this is during travel, right? So like I'm still traveling and I'm very in conflict of like, it's easy to feel like that because you travel, ma. But in back home, it's like, I don't know, like sometimes I feel contented when I know I head back and I have a very comfortable home to come back to, which is a privilege to have. Not everyone has a comfortable environment to come home to. And although it's not as easy to feel that way, because, it's like home, you take it for granted. But there are some times where I feel like, it's a nice home to come home to. And like my bed is awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's just nice to sleep on your own bed. And that, although it's not an obvious like, as like being in Finland in the forest, but when I think about it, like my bed is also pretty awesome and it's something that I should be contented with. And knowing that it's a home that, it's not toxic. It's a nice place to come home to. I think that is also contentment.
Final thoughts. What advice would you give to someone who aspires to follow in your footsteps and become like a successful travel content creator? I put an entrepreneur lah.
Don't call me entrepreneur. Very paiseh. Only one person. Maybe you can call me solopreneur. Yeah, or freelancer. I'm not like, I'm middle class, right? Like, so I'm not like crazy successful, but just based on my experience, what I can say is that I think this is very inspired by Mr. Beast, is that just focus on creating the best videos you can create. Focus on creating the best, whatever products, the best content that you can create. Just focus on that. Anything else, followers, money, likes, as a byproduct. So just focus on being the best version of yourself. Focus on doing things that align to you, and focus on creating the best videos, best whatever that you can do, the best value that you can provide for others. That's the most important. Sponsorships, free trips is like nice to have, but it's not needed. It's really, really not needed. And that's like, I would say, the single most important advice to anyone out there trying to, make it in this industry. Yeah.
Good advice for me.
Yeah. But for everyone, like I take this advice from Mr. Beast. He's the one that like, wow. He's just literally spending all of the money that he's earning. Right. He's not driving like a Lambo. He's not doing it. He's not living in a lavish house. He's spending all of his money on creating the best videos and creating empires. And you don't need to have the luxurious lifestyle or what. You know what I mean? Those are nice bonuses to have, but that should not be the focus. Correct. The focus is about being the best version of yourself and doing the best in whatever you do.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Shawne.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, like I feel, you're so nice also. Like the first time I met you was, I actually reached out, right? And I said like, can we meet? Like, because I really look up to you as a YouTuber.
Aww.
And I really love your videos and like just very grateful to have you here, like to share so openly about your journey, your experiences, and like all the life advice as well.
Yeah. I'm always very happy to share stuff. Like whatever I learn or experience, I'm always very happy to share. Although again, like sometimes I feel like with the right people, with the right conversations, like I'm always happy to like talk about what I do. But I can be also be very quiet if like talk about like, I don't know, like if you talk about things that are not interesting to me, then I'll be very quiet.
Yeah. Interesting though. I've had a few creators here on the podcast, right? All of us are introverts.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So
Nice.
I haven't really had an extroverted creator.
Yeah, as an introvert, like like you can be quite selective. If you're passionate about something, like you can just share. And then when about topics that you're not so interested, I was like, then you just I don't need to share. I don't need to contribute. Like there's nothing I can contribute to the conversation. Then I just
I
carry
feel
on.
you.
Yeah, right.
I turn off also.
Yeah. I tend to turn off also. Yeah.
But yeah, I really had a good conversation today.
Yeah, it was very nice to share and just chit chat and share about my experience.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right. So
Good combo.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll catch you again, hopefully in season 2.
Yes.
Or invite me to your travels.
Can.
Lastly, I think where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on youtube.com. You can find Shawne Depp, or the spelling is SHAWNEYDEPP, Shawne Depp. And I create travel vlogs, travel content, and maybe talk about my life. Actually, I just document about interesting bits of my life, the hits and misses. You can find me there and follow my journey.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.